Good morning. It's August 2012 here in Columbia, Missouri. I'm going to take you for a walk through my vegetable garden. It's been about a year, and I wanted to give you an updated visit, show you some of the newer devices I've implemented to maximize my growing season and watering and keeping the critters out, etc. Um, Put a new fence around the garden with solar-powered electric wires to keep the deer and groundhogs and raccoons, etc., out of the garden, and that's worked quite well this year. Also installed a 400-gallon water tank that will utilize rainwater from the downspouts of the gutters. Since we haven't had any rain this summer, I'm using city water, filling the tank, and then using my new drip irrigation lines to water the garden, which has worked quite well. This is the system right here, and the drip lines. I'll show you that as we walk through the garden. This is what I'm using for the solar electric fence. Getting ready for the fall garden with some broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower. That will go in here soon. This is my basil bed, which has been quite productive this year. A lot of good pesto. I have a new favorite vegetable that we learned about this summer called Malabar spinach. Not actually spinach, but tastes like, looks like spinach. One of the differences is that it loves the heat, unlike spinach, and grows on vines. So we plan to plant quite a bit of this next season. Let me show you some of the raised beds. This is okra. Here's a partially planted fall bed we put in last weekend with carrots and beets. And the rest of the bed are tomato plants. Had a good year for cucumbers. More tomatoes. And then we're going to take a walk into the hoop house. But first I want to describe how I built the hoop house. Pretty simple, using, I think they're 4x16 foot cattle panels. You frame out the hoop house and then just bend the cattle panels over, and the tension holds them in. It's about 8 feet wide, it's 20 feet long, and 6.5 feet tall. Allows for an extended growing season. I put these tomatoes in early spring rather than May, which is typically when you put tomato plants in Missouri. So they got an early start. They do quite well in here. Here's a Cherokee purple that, as you can see, is a beauty. Here's my eggplant. Does quite well hanging upside down. There are some nice yellow peppers, and there's the drip system. compost pile. Here's an active one. Here's one that is ready for use in the fall garden. Over here I've got cucumbers that are about done for the season, and sweet potatoes. Beyond the fence are several more sweet potato beds. And then these are 3 raised beds that I constructed several years ago, and you can see how, particularly in this middle bed, that is going to be all fall garden vegetables just recently planted. You can see how the drip irrigation works. Each drip line has got its separate valve to control on and off. Here's the third bed, lots of tomatoes and cantaloupe sitting up there on the ladder. And here are my pole beans. Get to enjoy the garden from our deck, and hope you enjoyed the walk through the garden. We'll be back again.